Every word you speak is casting a spell on your reality. But what if the very language you use every day has been quietly programming your mind, setting invisible boundaries on what you believe is possible? You've been trapped in a prison you cannot see, a prison built not of steel and concrete, but of words and phrases programmed into you since birth. This is not your fault. You never knew you had a choice. But today, everything changes. I'm about to show you how the most powerful people throughout history have used language as a tool to shape reality, both yours and their own. And more importantly, how you can reclaim this power for yourself. Think this sounds far-fetched? Consider this. When you spell words, you are literally casting spells, arranging letters to form meaning that shapes perception. The word grammar comes from grimoire, a book of magical formulas. These aren't coincidences. Your brain physically changes based on the words you use. Neuroscience confirms that repeating certain phrases literally reshapes your neural pathways through neuroplasticity. When you say, "I can't," you're not just expressing doubt, you're building physical barriers in your mind. Dr. Masaru Emoto discovered something extraordinary. Water molecules physically change their crystalline structure based on the words spoken to them. Water exposed to love and gratitude formed beautiful, symmetric crystals. Words like hate and fear created chaotic, fragmented patterns. With your body being 60% water, imagine how your cells respond to every word you speak. This isn't just philosophy, it's quantum physics. In the famous double-slit experiment, scientists discovered that particles behave differently when observed. Your words are observations, directing energy and collapsing infinite possibilities into specific realities. Every time you say, "I am," you're making a quantum declaration about the nature of your existence. But here's where it gets darker. Those in power have always understood this. Mass media doesn't just report reality, it creates it through carefully chosen words. A protest becomes a riot or a demonstration based solely on word choice, completely changing your emotional response and perception of events. But here's the liberating truth. Once you see the prison, you can break free. By consciously choosing your words, you can literally reprogram your mind and reshape your reality. This isn't wishful thinking. It's applying the same principles that built your limitations to now expand your possibilities. Let me show you how this works with a simple shift. Stop saying, "I have to," and start saying, "I choose to." Feel the difference? "I have to go to work" creates burden and resentment. "I choose to go to work" acknowledges your power and agency. Same action, completely different reality experience, all from changing 5 small letters. Your subconscious mind can't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you say, "I'm not good enough," your brain accepts this as reality and builds evidence to support it. But when you say, "I am becoming more capable every day," your brain begins searching for evidence of growth instead. Words carry vibrational frequencies that resonate through your entire being. High-frequency words like love, joy, and abundance elevate your energy and even affect your physical health. Low-frequency words like hate, fear, and lack create stress and disharmony within your body. This isn't mysticism. Studies show positive affirmations correlate with lower blood pressure and improved immune function. So here's your practical magic. Start catching yourself using disempowering language. When you say, "I can't afford this," replace it with, "How could I make this possible?" Instead of, "This is too hard," try, "What can I learn from this challenge?" Replace, "I'm always failing" with, "I'm gathering valuable feedback." These are just positive thinking tricks. They're literal reality-shifting spells. The most powerful spell you can cast begins with two simple words, I am. Whatever follows becomes your reality blueprint. I am struggling creates a very different experience than I am growing. For the next 21 days, the time it takes to form new neural pathways, start each morning by declaring empowering I am statements. Speak them aloud as vibration amplifies intention. You've been given the keys to the prison that has held you captive. Your words are not just descriptions of your reality. They are the very architects of it. From this moment forward, you have a choice with every word you speak, every thought you think. Will you continue casting spells of limitation? Or will you reclaim your power and speak into existence the reality you truly desire? Let's go deeper. The word mortgage literally means death pledge, a contract binding you until death. Government breaks down to govern, control, and ment, mind. Authority comes from author, those who write the rules of reality. These aren't coincidences. They're revelations of how language has been designed to shape your perception. Media doesn't just report news. It frames reality through carefully chosen words. When you hear economic crisis versus market correction, or illegal alien versus undocumented immigrant, completely different emotional responses and mental images are triggered. Those who control language control the boundaries of what you believe is possible. Dr. Emoto's revolutionary water experiments provide tangible evidence of language's power. When water was exposed to words like love and gratitude, it formed beautiful, symmetrical crystals. When exposed to hate and fear, it created chaotic, fragmented patterns. Since your body is mostly water, every word you speak literally restructures your physical being at the molecular level. Neuroscience confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. Your brain physically changes based on the words you repeatedly use. This process, called neuroplasticity, means that habitual phrases like "I can't" or "it's impossible" actually create neural pathways that make those limitations your default reality. The good news? You can intentionally rewire these pathways with new language patterns. Quantum physics offers perhaps the most profound evidence for language's reality-creating power. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave as either waves or particles, depending on whether they're being observed. Your words are observations. They collapse infinite possibilities into specific experiences. When you declare, "I am successful," you're not describing reality. You're collapsing quantum possibilities into that specific outcome. Your beliefs are simply thoughts you keep thinking, and they're built entirely from the words you use. "I'm not good with money" isn't an objective truth. It's a spell you've been casting that creates financial limitation. Change it to "I'm learning to master money," and watch how different financial opportunities suddenly become visible to you. Scientific research shows that your words don't just affect your thoughts, they impact your physical body. Negative self-talk increases cortisol, the stress hormone, while positive affirmations boost serotonin and dopamine. Studies have linked positive language patterns with lower blood pressure, improved immune function, and even faster healing. Your cells are literally listening to your words. Let's make this practical. Instead of saying, "I'm stressed about this deadline," try, "I'm focused on completing this project." Instead of "I hate my job," try, "I'm grateful for the income while I create my next opportunity." These aren't just positive thinking tricks. They're precise reality engineering tools that change which neural pathways strengthen and which quantum possibilities manifest. Ancient traditions understood that words create energy fields around you. Modern science confirms this through measurements of electromagnetic fields generated by the heart and brain, which change based on emotional states triggered by language. The words you speak aren't just sounds. They're energy signatures that attract matching experiences. Here's your 21-day language transformation challenge. First, become aware of your current language patterns. Notice how often you use words of limitation, lack, or negativity. Second, create conscious replacements for these patterns. Third, practice your new language consistently for 21 days, the time needed to begin forming new neural pathways. Keep a journal of how your perceptions and experiences shift during this process. Visualization combined with powerful language creates an unstoppable force for change. Your subconscious can't distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. When you combine clear mental imagery with empowering language, you create a blueprint that your brain and body work to manifest. Try this. For 5 minutes each morning, visualize a specific goal while repeating aligned affirmations like, "I am confidently creating this reality." Mass media doesn't just report events. It shapes how you perceive reality through carefully chosen language. Notice how different news sources use different words to describe the same events, triggering entirely different emotional responses and conclusions. By becoming conscious of these framing techniques, you can begin to see beyond the programmed boundaries and reclaim your power to define your own reality. Your words are literally creating your financial reality. When you say, "I can't afford it," you're casting a spell of financial limitation. Try instead, "How could I create the resources for this?" Notice how the first statement closes possibilities, while the second opens your mind to creative solutions. People who accumulate wealth consistently use language of agency, possibility, and abundance, regardless of their current circumstances. Your health responds directly to your language patterns. Studies of placebo effects show that when patients believe they're receiving effective treatment, even when they're not, their bodies often heal as if they were. Conversely, negative expectations can create real physical symptoms, a phenomenon called the nocebo effect. By consciously choosing words of vitality, healing, and strength, you literally program your cells toward optimal functioning. Your relationships are directly shaped by your language choices. Notice how you always or you never statements immediately create defensiveness and distance. Try instead, I feel when, which opens space for connection. Similarly, replacing you should with would you be willing to transforms demands into invitations. These aren't just communication techniques. They're reality-altering language patterns that determine which version of your relationships you experience. Notice how often your language pulls you out of the present moment, the only point of true power. Phrases like, I should have, keep you trapped in the unchangeable past, while what if often projects you into an imaginary, fearful future. Practice language that anchors you in present power. Right now, I am. In this moment, I choose. This isn't just mindfulness. It's aligning your words with the quantum field's point of creation. The eternal now. Your most important conversations are the ones you have with yourself. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love, with criticism, doubt, and limitation. Begin catching your inner dialogue and consciously choosing empowering alternatives. Instead of, I'm such an idiot, try, I'm learning and growing. This isn't positive thinking fluff. It's reprogramming the subconscious mind that creates 95% of your reality. The power of your words increases exponentially with focus and emotion. A casually spoken word has some effect, but a word spoken with complete presence, focus, and genuine emotion becomes exponentially more powerful. This is why affirmations often fail. They're spoken with divided attention and little feeling. Try this. Choose just one empowering statement and speak it daily with complete presence and genuine emotion, as if already true. Feel the difference. Gratitude expressed in language is perhaps the most powerful reality-shifting force available to you. When you say, I hate this job, you energetically reinforce everything you dislike. When you say, I'm grateful for the income this job provides while I create my next opportunity, you open energetic pathways to both appreciation and advancement. Try this. For 1 week, begin each day by speaking aloud 3 specific things you're genuinely grateful for. Feeling the emotion as you speak. This language transformation journey isn't just about changing words. It's about reclaiming your power as the author of your life story. As you become conscious of your language patterns and intentionally shift them toward empowerment, you'll notice changes rippling through every area of your life. Relationships improve, opportunities appear, and your sense of possibility expands. This isn't magical thinking. It's applied neuroscience and quantum consciousness. Your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your behavior and manifestations, can't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined through language. When you consistently use phrases like, I am becoming, or I am creating, Your subconscious accepts these statements as instructions and begins reorganizing your perception and behavior to align with them. This is why affirmations, when done properly, can create profound change. Let's make this concrete with a real example. Two people lose their jobs. The first says, "This is terrible. Who will hire me at my age? The economy is awful." The second says, "This is an opportunity to find work that better aligns with my purpose. What possibilities might open up now?" Same external circumstance, entirely different language patterns, and within 6 months, they're living in completely different realities. Your language determines which probability path you walk down. Research from the Heartmath Institute shows that your heart generates an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than your brain. And this field changes pattern based on your emotional state, which is directly influenced by your language. When you use words that generate positive emotions, your heart creates coherent patterns that literally synchronize your entire body and extend outward to affect your environment. Your words aren't just sounds, they're electromagnetic broadcasts. The average person consumes thousands of words daily through media, most designed to trigger fear, outrage, or insecurity. These aren't just stories, they're reality-shaping programs inserted directly into your consciousness. Begin noticing how news headlines make you feel, and consciously choose whether to accept that framing or reframe it. Ask, is this the only way to view this situation? What possibilities might exist beyond this limiting narrative? Here are 5 powerful language shifts to practice daily. Change "I have to" "I choose to." Replace "I can't" with "how could I?" Transform "I should" to "I could choose to." Shift from "I'll try" to "I will." Convert "I hope" to "I intend." These aren't semantic games. They're precision adjustments to your reality creation mechanisms. Each shift moves you from victim consciousness to creator consciousness, from limitation to possibility. Your first practical step is conducting a personal language audit. For one day, observe and note the phrases you use repeatedly. Which ones reflect limitation, doubt, or victim consciousness? Which express agency, possibility, or gratitude? This awareness alone often creates immediate shifts. Then, for each limiting phrase, craft an empowering alternative that feels authentic, not forced. Remember, this isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing language that empowers, rather than imprisons you within that reality. Research shows that writing amplifies the power of language transformation. When you journal your empowering language patterns, you engage visual processing centers along with linguistic areas, creating stronger neural pathways. Try this 5-minute daily practice. Write 3 statements of gratitude, 3 statements of intention, beginning with "I am creating, becoming," and 1 statement releasing a limiting belief. Be specific and write as if already experiencing your desired reality. This simple practice literally rewires your brain's default patterns. Your relationships are co-created through language. Notice how you statements, you always, you never, create defensiveness and distance, while I statements, I feel, I notice, create openness and connection. Similarly, questions that begin with why often trigger justification, while questions beginning with what or how invite exploration. These are just communication techniques. They're reality creation choices that determine which version of your relationships you experience. The questions you habitually ask are perhaps the most powerful language patterns shaping your reality. Your brain faithfully answers whatever questions you pose, regardless of whether they're empowering or limiting. Why does this always happen to me? Prompts very different answers than what opportunity might be hidden in this challenge. Begin consciously crafting questions that presuppose growth, possibility, and agency. The quality of your life is directly determined by the quality of questions you consistently ask. Media literacy is essential for protecting your reality from external manipulation. Notice framing techniques: collapse versus correction, crisis versus challenge. Watch for emotionally charged words designed to bypass critical thinking. Pay attention to what information is emphasized versus what's omitted. These aren't neutral choices. They're deliberate, reality-shaping tools. By recognizing these patterns, you can consciously choose whether to accept the offered frame or reframe the information in a way that better serves your well-being and clarity. Dr. Emoto's water crystal experiments provide fascinating visual evidence of language's power. When water was exposed to words like love and gratitude, it formed beautiful, symmetrical crystals under microscopic examination. When exposed to hate and fear, it created chaotic, fragmented patterns. As your body is 60% water, imagine how your cells are responding to every word you speak or think. This isn't pseudoscience. It's observable evidence of language's physical impact on matter. Your financial reality is directly shaped by your language patterns. Notice how phrases like, "I can't afford it," or "money is scarce," create very different possibilities than, "How could I create the resources for this?" or "Money flows to me through multiple channels." Wealthy individuals consistently use language of agency, creativity, and abundance, regardless of their current circumstances. This isn't magical thinking. It's training your brain to recognize opportunities and solutions that scarcity-focused language blinds you to. The language you use directly affects your physiology. Phrases like "I'm stressed" or "I'm exhausted" trigger the release of cortisol and other stress hormones, while phrases like "I'm calm" or "I'm recharging" activate parasympathetic healing responses. Your body is constantly eavesdropping on your words. Next time you feel yourself slipping into stress, try saying, "I'm choosing to remain calm while addressing this challenge," and observe how your body responds differently to this language pattern. The most powerful identity statement begins with "I am." Whatever follows literally programs your self-concept at the deepest level. "I am bad with money" creates a very different reality than I am learning to master wealth. I am too old differs dramatically from I am gaining valuable wisdom. Your subconscious mind accepts these I am statements as commands for identity creation. Choose them consciously, for they become your reality. One of the most powerful practices is pattern interruption, catching yourself in limiting language and immediately replacing it with an empowering alternative. When you catch yourself saying, "This is impossible," immediately replace it with, "I haven't found the solution yet." When you think, "I always mess this up," shift to, "I'm learning and improving each time." This practice literally creates new neural pathways while allowing the old, limiting ones to weaken through disuse. Mindfulness meditation offers a powerful tool for language transformation. By observing your thoughts without attachment, you create space between yourself and your habitual language patterns. This space allows you to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You're the awareness behind them. From this expanded perspective, you can consciously choose which language patterns to energize and which to release. Start with just 5 minutes daily of observing your thoughts as if they were clouds passing through the sky. Gratitude expressed through language is perhaps the most powerful manifestation tool available to you. When you say, "I'm grateful for the abundance flowing into my life," even before seeing physical evidence of it, you're instructing your subconscious and the quantum field to recognize and create that pattern. Make it specific. "I'm grateful for the unexpected check I received," or "I'm thankful for how easily solutions appear when I need them." Speaking gratitude for what you desire as if it's already occurred accelerates its manifestation. The power of language multiplies in community. Surrounding yourself with people who use empowering language patterns literally shapes your own neural networks through mirror neurons. Conversely, immersion in environments of complaint, criticism, and limitation programs your mind accordingly. Consciously choose your language communities, both in person and online. Even better, become the source of empowering language that elevates others. The language patterns you consistently feed into your environment eventually become your lived reality. The moments before sleep offer a powerful opportunity for linguistic reprogramming. As you drift towards sleep, your brain transitions from beta to alpha and theta waves, states where the critical faculty is reduced and the subconscious becomes more receptive. Use this time intentionally by speaking empowering statements as you fall asleep. Frame them in present tense. I am healthy and vibrant. I attract abundance effortlessly. I am becoming more confident each day. These nocturnal language patterns shape your subconscious programming while you sleep. The questions you consistently ask literally determine the boundaries of your reality. Low-quality questions like, "Why does this always happen to me?" or "What's wrong with me?" direct your brain to find evidence supporting these limiting assumptions. Transform your reality by upgrading your questions. What opportunity might be hidden in this challenge? How might I use this experience to grow stronger? What would this look like if it were easy? Your brain faithfully answers whatever questions you ask. So choose questions that presuppose possibility and growth. Language transformation is a practice, not a perfect destination. Even as you become more conscious of your language patterns, you'll still catch yourself using disempowering words. The key is to approach this journey with compassion rather than self-criticism. Each time you notice a limiting pattern and choose an empowering alternative, you're strengthening new neural pathways. Celebrate these moments of awareness as victories rather than judging the old patterns as failures. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. In a world where thousands of reality-shaping words bombard you daily through media, advertising, and social platforms, conscious language curation becomes essential. Practice media literacy by noticing framing techniques and emotional triggers in headlines. Set boundaries around content that uses predominantly fear-based or limiting language. Actively seek sources that expand possibilities rather than constrain them. Remember, every word you consume is programming. Choose your input as carefully as you choose your food. If you're a parent or influence children in any way, recognize the profound power of the language you use around them. Phrases like "money doesn't grow on trees" or "life is hard" become their subconscious programming for decades. Instead, teach language patterns that empower. "We can find creative solutions," or "you have everything you need within you." Children are particularly receptive to language programming before age 7. By consciously choosing empowering language patterns for the next generation, you're literally shaping the future of humanity. Ancient wisdom traditions have always understood what modern science is now confirming. In the beginning was the Word. Across cultures and millennia, the understanding that language creates reality has been a core teaching, from ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics to Sanskrit mantras to biblical creation stories. The convergence of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge research in neuroscience and quantum physics confirms a fundamental truth. Your words are not simply describing your reality. They are actively creating it. You stand at a profound threshold. Before you lies the choice to continue unconsciously using language that limits your potential, or to step into the power of consciously choosing words that expand your reality. The prison that has held you was built of words, and words hold the key to your freedom. Begin today. Notice your language patterns, challenge limiting expressions, and consciously choose words of possibility, empowerment, and abundance. Your words are quite literally spells that shape your reality. What reality will you choose to speak into existence? The act of writing your new language patterns amplifies their power exponentially. When you journal your intentions, affirmations, and gratitude, you engage multiple brain regions simultaneously: visual processing, motor skills, and linguistic centers. Try this powerful practice. Each morning, write 3 I am statements, 3 gratitude statements, and 1 intention for the day. Be specific. Write in present tense and feel the emotion as if already experiencing your desired reality. Notice the difference between problem-focused language and solution-focused language. Why is this happening to me? Versus, what's the opportunity here? This always goes wrong. Versus, what might work better next time? The first locks you into a victim perspective, while the second empowers you as a creator. Your brain will faithfully find evidence for whatever your language presupposes. Choose language that presupposes solutions, opportunities, and growth. Your past does not determine your future, but your language about your past does. Notice how phrases like "that ruined me" or "I never recovered from that" lock you into a limiting story. Try reframing past challenges with language like "that experience taught me resilience," or "through that difficulty, I discovered my strength." This isn't denial. It's conscious reinterpretation that extracts value and wisdom from every experience. The way you speak about your past literally shapes what's possible in your future. Your self-talk is perhaps the most powerful form of reality-creating language. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love, with criticism, doubt, and limitation. Begin catching your inner dialogue and consciously choosing empowering alternatives. Instead of "I always mess this up," try "I'm learning something valuable each time." Instead of "I'm not good enough," try "I'm growing and improving every day." Your self-concept is built entirely of the words you habitually use to describe yourself. Visualization combined with spoken affirmations creates an unstoppable manifestation force. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome while speaking aligned language, you're creating a multi-sensory blueprint that your subconscious mind and the quantum field work to materialize. Try this practice for 5 minutes each morning. Visualize a specific goal in vivid detail while repeating aligned affirmations. Feel the emotions of already having achieved it. This isn't fantasy. It's strategic reality creation using the most powerful tools available to human consciousness. The language you use literally programs your cells. Research on the placebo effect confirms that when patients believe they're receiving effective treatment, even when they're not, their bodies produce healing responses. Conversely, nocebo effects show that negative expectations can create real physical symptoms. Begin speaking to your body with conscious intention. My body knows how to heal itself. Every cell in my body is functioning optimally. I am becoming stronger and healthier each day. Your cells are listening to every word you speak. Your financial reality is directly shaped by your language patterns. Notice how phrases like "I can't afford it" or "money is scarce" create very different possibilities than "how could I create value to generate these resources?" or "money flows to me through multiple channels." Wealthy individuals consistently use language of agency, possibility, and abundance, regardless of their current circumstances. This isn't magical thinking. It's training your brain to recognize opportunities that scarcity-focused language blinds you to. The quality of your relationships is determined by your language patterns. Notice how "you always" or "you never" statements create defensiveness and distance, while "I feel" when "I feel" statements create openness and connection. Similarly, demands "you should" create resistance, while requests, would you be willing to? Create collaboration. These aren't just communication techniques. They're reality creation choices that determine which version of your relationships you experience. Practice consciously choosing language that bridges rather than divides. Mindfulness meditation offers a powerful tool for language transformation. By observing your thoughts without attachment, you create space between yourself and your habitual language patterns. This space allows you to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You're the awareness behind them. From this expanded perspective, you can consciously choose which language patterns to energize and which to release. Start with just 5 minutes daily of observing your thoughts as if they were clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. Research from the Heartmath Institute shows that your heart generates an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than your brain. And this field changes pattern based on your emotional state, which is directly influenced by your language. When you use words that generate positive emotions, your heart creates coherent patterns that literally synchronize your entire body and extend outward to affect your environment. Your words aren't just sounds. They're electromagnetic broadcasts shaping the field around you. Here's your 21-day language transformation challenge. First, become aware of your current language patterns by keeping a small notebook to track limiting phrases you use regularly. Second, create conscious replacements for these patterns. Third, practice your new language consistently for 21 days, the time needed to begin forming new neural pathways. Keep a journal of how your perceptions and experiences shift during this process. Remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal. Celebrate each moment of awareness as a victory. Your language transformation isn't just personal. It's part of a global consciousness shift. As you become more aware of your language patterns and choose empowering alternatives, you literally elevate the collective field. Your words create ripple effects far beyond what you can see. When you shift from complaint to gratitude, from blame to responsibility, from fear to trust, you're contributing to a new template for humanity. This isn't idealistic thinking. It's understanding the interconnected nature of consciousness that quantum physics is now confirming. Quantum physics suggests that multiple potential realities exist simultaneously until observation collapses them into specific experiences. Your words are forms of observation. They direct your attention and energy towards specific probability paths. When you declare, "I am becoming more confident," or "I am attracting abundance," you're not just describing reality. You're selecting which version of reality you experience from the field of infinite possibilities. Choose your words with the awareness that they are literally selecting which reality path you walk down. The way you speak about your past literally determines what's possible in your future. When you use phrases like, "that trauma ruined me," or "I'll never get over that," you're programming your subconscious to maintain that limitation. Try reframing with language like, "that experience revealed my strength," or "through that challenge, I discovered resources I never knew I had." This isn't denying difficult experiences. It's consciously extracting the value and wisdom from them, which opens new possibilities for your future. The moments before sleep offer a powerful opportunity for linguistic reprogramming. As you drift towards sleep, your brain transitions from beta to alpha and theta waves, states where the critical faculty is reduced and the subconscious becomes more receptive. Use this time intentionally by speaking empowering statements as you fall asleep. Frame them in present tense. I am healthy and vibrant. I attract abundance effortlessly. I am becoming more confident each day. These nocturnal language patterns shape your subconscious programming while you sleep. Language rituals can help you release limiting beliefs that have held you back. Try this powerful practice. Identify a limiting belief, like, I'm not good enough. Create a release statement. I now release and let go of the belief that I'm not good enough. Then, create a replacement. I now embrace the truth that I am inherently worthy and continuously growing. Speak these statements aloud with emotion and conviction. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a conscious reprogramming of your subconscious operating system through the power of language. The language you use creates specific vibrational frequencies that attract matching experiences through resonance. This isn't mystical thinking. It's understanding that your words shape your focus, emotions, and energy, which then determine what you notice and create in your reality. When you consistently use phrases like, I'm so blessed, or opportunities always find me, you tune your entire being to notice and attract experiences that match those frequencies. Consciously choose language that resonates with the reality you wish to create. The language of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset dramatically shapes your reality. Fixed mindset phrases like, I'm just not good at math, or I don't have the talent for this, create neurological dead ends. Growth mindset language, like, I haven't mastered this yet, or my abilities develop with effort, creates new neural pathways. This distinction, researched extensively by Dr. Carol Dweck, shows how simple language shifts can dramatically expand your capabilities and what's possible in your life. Your language literally shapes what you're capable of perceiving. When you use phrases like, this is impossible, or everything's going wrong, your reticular activating system, the brain's filtering mechanism, selectively focuses on evidence supporting these statements while filtering out contradictory information. When you shift to language like, there's a solution here, or I'm looking for opportunities, your brain begins scanning for entirely different data. Your words don't just describe your reality. They determine what aspects of reality you're even capable of perceiving. You now hold the key to the invisible prison that has confined you. The words you speak are not merely describing your reality. They are actively creating it. From this moment forward, you have a choice with every thought you think and every word you speak. Will you continue casting spells of limitation, or will you consciously choose language that expands your possibilities and aligns with the reality you truly desire to experience? The power has always been yours. Now you're aware of how to use it. What reality will you choose to speak into existence?